Over 10,000 cinemas are needed in Nigeria. Cinema culture is back with a boom. So there's huge opportunity for that. There are music sharing technology applications that need to be developed for sharing Nigerian music with the world. Nigerian music has gone global. How many of you are aware of that? If you're not aware of that, then you're not part of the future. I was in DC and I was in Houston just a few weeks ago. While I was in DC, 3 nightclubs in DC played Nigerian music back to back for 2 hours. While I was in Houston, there were 4 radio stations playing Nigerian music at the same time. I turned and checked all 4. They were playing Nigerian music at the same time. Nigerian music has crossed over. What is now left is the floodgate. It's about to happen, which is going to translate into serious investment coming from serious institutional investors. So if you don't have a strategy for tapping into this industry, you should start thinking about it now. But these are the kind of numbers that these international investors, they like to see. And the industry, the entertainment industry, is producing those numbers. So we need a value chain intelligent matrix, because it's missing in the manufacturing sector. And then in our agricultural sector, for instance, in cassava, Nigeria is actually the largest producer of cassava in the world. But we haven't really done anything about it. So I just wanted to give you a table on what the agricultural sector looks like. And you can see from this table that we have the products, global production, then Nigeria production, then Nigeria global ranking, and then the value. So if you look at a product like cashew, the global production of cashew is 629,000 metric tons. Nigeria's production is 120,000 metric tons. So we are number 2 in the world in production of cashew. How many of you knew that? Do you know that there is no cashew processing facility in Nigeria? We're selling everything in raw form, just like we're doing with crude oil. The potential is that the processed cashew is 10 times the value of the raw. So for that raw cashew, you're getting $720 million. But if you process it, you get $7.2 billion in terms of processing. In groundnuts, we are number 3 in the world. In soya beans, we're doing about 500,000 metric tons. Now, you can see cassava in red there. Cassava, we are doing, out of the world, the total world production of cassava is 269.9 million tons. We are doing 54.8 million tons. We are number 1 in the world, and we are creating a value of $3 billion. If it is processed, you get over $20 billion just from cassava alone. What does cassava processing produce? How many of you take Panadol? Medicine. Every single drug in the pharmaceutical industry contains starch. And that starch is produced from cassava. So we are not even playing in this industry at all. Yet we are the number 1 producer in the world. So what I'm saying basically is that there's a value chain. We need to go beyond the obvious and start looking at the rudiments that make up the value chain of the industries across the world, so that we can play effectively. Oil palm, you can see it there as well, 970,000 metric tons. That's what we produce. We're number 5 in the world. And then rice, we are the second global importer. We haven't yet started scratching the surface on the production of rice, but we have a lot of demand. So we should actually have moved beyond that by now. And then I talked about diaspora. Remember I said I would talk about it again? I just wanted to look at the market properly. Nigerians migrating abroad. Sometimes you go to all these talk shows, seminars, and people talk about Nigeria's biggest export, right? Our export is crude oil, isn't it? Isn't it? It's crude oil now. But our largest export is not crude oil. It's people. That is the truth. We are exporting 1 million people every year. 1 million Nigerians are migrating every single year. They are migrating to Europe, to America, to China, to Japan. But they are not leaving us completely because they are sending money home. So they have now become a source of investment. Yes. And we must look at it in that way. Because the money they are sending home now, they are sending it without any prompting. They're doing it because they want to send money home to mom or dad to pay school fees of their brothers or sisters or to build houses in the village. But that's what the money is doing. But we now need to look at them as a market and say, okay, how can we attract them to come and invest properly in businesses or in opportunities here? And that is the next step that we need to look at. Because the figures are huge. And if you take these kind of figures to a global investor, they can verify them. Because these are the official figures. The unofficial figures are much higher. So the Nigerian diaspora is an estimated 15 million people. Their earning capacity is $250 billion. So already, they are almost equaling Nigeria's GDP if all of them came together as one nation. Because Nigeria's GDP is 360, right? But these 15 million people are doing 250. So this is a market. They are also a source of investment, but it has to be done strategically. Because they also have reservations on that. There's a reason why they left, right? But we need a diaspora strategy. Now, time is fast spent, so I'm not going to deal too much on the Industrial Revolution. I wanted to talk about what is going on there, but let me try and skip that so that we can move to the other parts of the program. So I just want to talk about the services that we are willing to offer you. Now, the first one is the Masterclass series. Now, what we have done here is captured all the learning and experiences I have gained in a 30-year career. My career, even though I look quite young, I've actually had a professional career of over 30 years. And I've captured it in a masterclass series, 3-week study course. And we are offering that to entrepreneurs at very, very affordable rates so that people can understand what it takes to be a global investor and a global entrepreneur and a global business person. We call it Champions of the Universe. So you get a certification as a champion of the universe if you go through the course. And if you have employees, then it is highly advisable that you put them through it. Because it attacks the mind. The biggest problem we have in this part of the world is our mindset. Would you agree?
Yes.
It is. I've studied the problem, and we're doing our best to provide solutions. I have no interest in being a politician. A lot of people ask me all the time, why don't you run for office? I'm sure some of you are even thinking it now. But I'm not interested. My interest is education. Educating business people. Educating entrepreneurs on how they can move to the next level. If I know I've succeeded, it's when I have been able to create a generation of Nigerian entrepreneurs that can operate on the global scene, the global market. That is when I know that I have succeeded. That is my goal. So I've done that in the masterclass series. We call Champions of the Universe. There are a few other series. So we would like some of you to take advantage of that. And you can see the program there. It has a workbook, manual, and then it's also online. So we set up an online system with an American company. So we don't have to come to your office to deliver the masterclass. You just get a code and you go into the system and you can take the course, and once you get certified and so on and so forth. So we're using the technology that we advocate. So if we're advocating you to use technology, we must use technology. You know, so that's the masterclass series. So it's quite effective. And then we have developed what we call the Global Partnership Program for the masterclass series and for all the programs. This has never been done in the field of education or capacity building before. We're now using technology to create partners across the country and across the African continent. So you can become a Nicky Okoye entrepreneurship partner, whereby you can resell the masterclass series or any of our other products and services to people in your community or in your catchment area. So that way, all you need is access to the technology. That's why technology is beautiful. Because yes, you can stay anywhere. You go out, you get your customers, you bring them to the platform, and then you get paid. So we have developed that system. Chineze is in charge of it. You will hear from her later in the program. But we are advocating some of you can become partners, because this has never been done in education before. A typical education strategy is somebody comes to your company to train your people, isn't it? And then their ability to train is limited by how many times they can come. But here we have replicated ourselves thousands and thousands of times. So everybody here can actually be a partner, because you have people that we don't know. You might have a network that we don't know and we can't access. So it's better we partner and we share the revenue, we share the money, which is what we have done with this program. So we'll work with partners across Africa. The way we have calculated it is that each partner can actually earn up to 50 million to 100 million naira a year, based on the calculation. The courses themselves go for $39, just very, very affordable, $39. But because of the way we've designed the program, and we'll teach you how to sell it, you can earn 50 million naira a year, maybe more if you're aggressive. You know? And then we have, within that program, we have what we call the Billionaires Club. So the people who are going to be selling at a very high level, and we're going to teach them how to do that. Okay? And we're going to do that across Africa. So we don't want to be running around doing the business ourselves. We want to share our knowledge, our strategies, and our success with all of you. You know? So does that sound interesting? All right, so let us know those of you who are interested after this. Then we have what we call Speak Like a Champion program. One of the things that people don't realize is that the most effective the most strategic and the most competitive skill a businessman or woman can have is their ability to speak. Would you agree? Everything depends on your ability to convince or persuade your customer. And it goes beyond business people, it goes to professionals. If you are a professional, you are going to be put in a position where you have to convince your board of directors, your manager, your CEO to accept your project, or to invest in your project, or to even promote you. Isn't it? So we have designed a course, we call it Speak Like a Champion, because we believe that that is the most effective skill a professional or a businessman or a businesswoman can have. And that is part of the courses that the partners will be selling as well. So the partners don't need to set up anything. We've done all the hard work. We've done all the heavy lifting. Your job is just to identify those who need this service, and we provide you with the entire package. Our goal is to have Speak Like a Champion retreats going on across the country, effectively transforming the lives of entrepreneurs and business people like you. How do you like that? Thank you. So, the Speak Like a Champion will have a retreat boot camp for executives. It will also have a global competition so that we find out who the best champion is on an annual basis, and it is a network for all speakers. So the question I have, how many of you consider yourself as a speaker? Okay, so you see that most people don't know. Everybody's hand should have gone up, because you are all involved in speaking. If you're in business or you're in a profession, and everybody who is here is either in business or is in a profession, then you are involved in speaking. So if you are involved in speaking, then you need to enhance your skills. You can't leave it to chance, because so much depends on it. You have to know what it takes to persuade somebody to give you their money. Isn't that what we do every day? But we do it by chance. Next thing you turn around and say, oh, they are going to sack me, can you put money in my bank? Have you heard that before? Eh? Does that sound like a convincing argument? It's ridiculous. Or some people will tell you, oh, hunger is killing my children, come and buy my bucket. That's not a professional argument. There are strategies that are adopted for speaking, which we want to teach you so that you can become world class. One of the things that there's a competition that we're going to be launching next year for entrepreneurs in order for them to gain access to global investment funds. We call it the Great Challenge. So when I was speaking with the fund managers in New York, they said, when we are screening the people that we are bringing, I should make sure that there are people who can speak to a Western audience. If they can't speak, don't bring them. That's what they told me. So it's nice that my brothers in ABS, are they here? It's nice that they have all these nice local business, local programs in Igbo and broken English. But the investment world, that's not the language that they speak. Do you understand? So if you want to come and attract investment from international investors, then you're going to need to align with their requirements. And one of their requirements is you must speak like a champion. You must. And we went further, and we'll describe that for you later. So, another thing that we're going to be providing is what we call Speakers Bureau. So those who have gone through the Speak Like a Champion, if you think you're now able to speak to other communities, then we will put you in touch with people who are looking for speakers like you. So we have already about 1,000 people registered in our Speakers Bureau. We're willing to expand that number. And the idea is that all of you will be put in touch. There's nobody here that without training cannot engage an audience for over 20 or 30 minutes. All you need is the training. Would you agree? Yes. You can. And there's skills behind it, and we intend to do that. And once we've done that and you're certified, then we'll put you out in the world. The whole world is looking for African speakers, and we intend to help you to get there. Then another area that we are pushing is what we call an evening with Dr. Nicky Okoye. So a lot of companies now want me to come and sit down with their employees or their board of directors. So what I've done is I've asked my people that we can host it on a monthly basis. Those who can come a month, we have a place where people can come and we would share ideas, these kind of ideas, go into more detail on a monthly basis or twice a month. Okay, so people need to come together, they need to organize themselves so that it is effective and it's cost effective. But we'll make sure it's very, very affordable. Then in some cases, some companies are large enough that they have enough employees where I can come and just address their employees or their board of directors, as the case may be. And then the global strategy sessions, what we're doing here today is what we call a global strategy session. This is the one that is free. So we didn't charge. Did anybody get charged here today? No, we did it for free because we want you to have the value and to understand that the thinking is different. You have to think beyond the level that you have been thinking before. So taking it beyond here, then we start applying some fees to it. But this strategy session, we're going to take it around the country. We're going to Calabar in a few weeks' time. We're going to be in Abuja on the 7th of November. We're going to be in Imo State. The governor has asked us to come. And then Ogun State as well. And then we're going to Ghana, we're going to Mozambique, we're going to Zambia, Namibia, Rwanda, and South Africa. So strategy sessions will be effective in taking this message to the people. You know, so this is just a list of some of the areas and places that we are going on the strategy session. Then we're going to have what we call a global capital conference call. So for entrepreneurs, we're going to host a conference call. So sometimes it might be difficult to come and meet with you guys every month or every other month. So we're going to have a conference call where all of you can sign up to the conference call. If you have an internet connection, you can participate. It will be a token, I think about $10 or so to participate. But our idea is that we want to start sharing knowledge with entrepreneurs on a monthly basis as often as possible, so that all the best ideas that are coming from around the world, we're going to share it on the conference call. So sometimes the kind of magazines that I read, the kind of knowledge I get, the kind of journals I get, all of you can't get them. It will be too cumbersome. So let me go and do all the research and the reading, and let me come and share the knowledge with you. So I will summarize it for all of you. So we want to do that on a monthly basis. We'll do it for entrepreneurs. We're going to do it for CFOs as well, for finance, people who are looking for money and so on and so forth. So that is another area that I think is quite exciting. So this is just the people that we're going to be doing for. And then, of course, you heard about the roadshow, the retreat and roadshow, where we take people to the United States. We took a group to the United States 2 weeks ago, and we're taking another group to Mozambique in January, like I said, and so on. So we're going to be doing that intermittently. Those who qualify for the roadshow, you let us know. If you don't qualify, you can work towards being part of it, because what we do at the roadshow, there are two strategies. One is capital, we're looking for money, but two, opportunity, we're looking for business opportunities. So Mozambique, for instance, we're looking for opportunities. We're trying to get people to have access to that market, you know? So the Global Capital Roadshow, you have Region 1, United States, Region 2, EU, Asia, and the Caribbean. And so that is Mozambique, first week in February. We meet with the local business community. We're going to meet with the government. We'll have meetings with Total, Exxon, and Eni. He is the major contractor for the 29 billion Anadaco project. And then we meet with Saipem and so on and so forth.